curcumin and turmeric are not the same thing. Too often, people say, "Oh, they use the words interchangeably," and they're not. Turmeric is the food, it's the spice, it's fantastic, but it's not the medicine. There's only about 2% to 5% of turmeric that's curcumin. And so, in order to get the medicinal benefits, you have to extract the curcumin from the turmeric. So, that's the first point to understand is that there's very little curcumin in turmeric. You have to extract it to make it into a powerful natural medicine.
You're quickly become our curcumin expert, our CuraMed master here. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Healthy Habit Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center. Today we're talking in our monthly check-in with Cheryl Myers, Chief of Scientific Affairs and Education for EuroPharma, Inc. Cheryl's a healthcare professional with certifications in cancer, pain control, and issues of aging. She's an expert in dietary supplements and natural medicines who's been a featured guest on hundreds of radio and television shows. Cheryl's a member of the editorial board of the Natural Medicine Journal, and her own published research has included topics such as menopause, diabetes, sleep disorders, and digestive health. Welcome back, Cheryl, to the podcast.
It is always a delight to be here.
So today, you're quickly become our curcumin expert, our CuraMed master here. So Cheryl, give us a little intro into CuraMed, because there's also the Curamin option through Terry Naturally. So I want to hear about the CuraMed real quick. Set the stage for that, and then we have various products that have the CuraMed.
Yes, absolutely. So I think the most important thing to remember right off the get-go is that curcumin and turmeric are not the same thing. Too often, people say, "Oh, they use the words interchangeably," and they're not. Turmeric is the food, it's the spice, it's fantastic, but it's not the medicine. There's only about 2% to 5% of turmeric that's curcumin. And so in order to get the medicinal benefits, you have to extract the curcumin from the turmeric. So that's the first point to understand is that there's very little curcumin in turmeric. You have to extract it to make it into a powerful natural medicine. You would have to take a lot of turmeric to equal just a little bit of our CuraMed, because not only is it an extraction, but it uses a patented process called BCM95 that incorporates turmeric essential oil into every single little flake of curcumin. And this boosts absorption about 700%. So you would have to take between 200 and 500 capsules of turmeric to equal the amount of curcumin absorbed in one single CuraMed. So it's just, the difference is pretty staggering as far as I'm concerned, because as I said, when you use curcumin that absorbs well and has some, these other healthy natural ingredients, it can make such a tremendous difference in your health. Our CuraMed, because the curcumin in our CuraMed, we also use in our Curamin, and I know that's confusing. That's probably the number one question I'm asked. What's the difference between CuraMed and Curamin? Well, almost all the clinical studies were done on CuraMed and not necessarily on pain. There's studies on fatty liver disease, studies on major depressive disorders, studies on autoimmune diseases. The list goes on and on. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that causes pain to use CuraMed. There's so many uses for it, so many systems that it supports. Curamin also utilizes that unique high absorption curcumin that incorporates turmeric essential oil for boosted absorption and actually boosted activity as well. But it includes other ingredients that target pain. So this is a more pain-specific product. So you've got the CuraMed, which is something like the medicine. It's for a lot of different health issues. But when you're in pain, I usually direct people over to Curamin, or we also have a product called CuraMed Acute Pain. Those are all excellent pain products.
I mean, we're talking over 60 groundbreaking published studies, 500 milligrams of full spectrum curcuminoids in every 750 milligram soft gel. So as Cheryl was just saying, one CuraMed gel is up to 500 capsules of turmeric. Is that a correct formula?
Absolutely. It's just, it's, as I said, it's kind of mind boggling the difference. The other thing is that turmeric essential oil that's used to boost the absorption has health benefits of its own. It
Mm.
contains compounds called AR turmerones or aromatic turmerones. And aromatic turmerones possess like anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer activity as well. So I kind of tease our marketing department a little bit and say, you made a mistake here. Our product is not a curcumin product.
Mm-hmm.
Our product it's not a one for, it's a two for. You
Mm-hmm.
get two for the price of one. You get the curcumin extraction from turmeric, which is curcumin which is made up of curcuminoids. But then you also get the turmeric essential oil, which is a second extraction from turmeric. It does not contain any curcumin, but it does contain those AR turmerones. And research has shown that using them together in this patented process not only boosts absorption, but it helps to keep curcumin in its active form longer.
Interesting.
That might be one of the reasons you mentioned the multitude of studies that have been done specifically on this product. Yes, it's the most clinically studied enhanced absorption curcumin in the world, and it's been used at some pretty prestigious organizations. And it's not just one hospital, one place, one doctor. I mean, it's all over the world. There's studies on our curcumin in Indonesia, Canada, the UK, Australia, America, the North America, United States. I'm leaving some out. Singapore. There was a study that was done in Singapore. So researchers are Sweden, researchers around the world want to use this because so many, well, first, to try to do a study without enhanced absorption, people would just be taking buckets of curcumin to try to get any on board. So they want to work with enhanced absorption, but so many companies use these Frankenstein ingredients to try to boost absorption. We are the only company and the only form of curcumin that only uses compounds from the turmeric plant itself to boost absorption. Nothing Frankenstein about it.
Amazing. And when you say it is used globally and by different practitioners, different countries, you mean the rhizome extract BCM95 Curcugreen, correct?
Yes, we usually in the United States just call it BCM 95, and we are the ones that have the exclusive relationship with the researchers that created this, and we use it in our CuraMed products. The whole CuraMed family is all this BCM 95, that special form with the turmeric essential oil, and also all of our Curamin products use exclusively this unique curcumin.
Fascinating. Again, it's a standardized extract with that curcuminoid complex. So it's not just curcumin, right? Tell us about the different types of curcumin then, and what's the big difference then from just curcumin standalone and then demethoxycurcumin and bisdemethoxycurcumin. Tell us, because this is my first time having that on the radar.
Oh, well, curcumin is the name of the pigment. So curcumin is a pigment. It's what gives turmeric its brilliant yellow-orange color.
Okay.
And so often it's the pigments that have incredible health benefits. Like, for example, what makes carrots orange? Beta carotene. What makes tomatoes red? Lycopene. Indirectly, what makes shrimp and salmon pink? Astaxanthin. So, these are some pretty potent compounds. Well, what makes curcumin yellow-orange? I mean, turmeric yellow-orange, that would be curcumin. So number one, it's a pigment, but it's not, neither turmeric nor curcumin is very well absorbed. So the early studies used 20 to 25 capsules a day to get a little bit of curcumin on board. I always tell my patients, unless it's dipped in Godiva dark chocolate, I am probably not going to take 25 capsules a day. That's just too onerous. That's too hard. So the race was on to do enhanced absorption. One of the earlier ways to enhance absorption was to use an extraction of pepper called piperine, and it works. That was one of the very first ways some couple decades ago of looking at how do you boost curcumin absorption. But the problem is that compound piperine, which is from black pepper, interacts with an enormous amount of prescription drugs, and it even interacts with other dietary supplements and herbs. It's been used in a lot of studies and shown that it runs certain drugs through the body too quickly. So if you're on anti-seizure medication or blood pressure medication or heart rhythm medication or triple cocktail for HIV or whatever you're taking, you're not able to use this. So a lot of people moved on from that And also there was a lot of duplicity because people
Oh,
would put a couple milligrams of black pepper in and infer that it was enhanced absorption. Black pepper does not enhance absorption. It's the compound in black pepper, which can be in there as little as 3 or 4%, which is the piperine. So if it doesn't say standardized to piperine, you're not going to get boosted absorption. You're just paying
interesting.
for less than a penny's worth of black pepper in
Right.
your product. So for lots of reasons, it sort of fell out of favor. There are some newer ways to boost absorption using synthetic chemical solvents that are used in some products, but people in our industry most generally have no interest whatsoever in using some of these things like tween 80, which boosts absorption, yes, but high doses are required of the tween 80 to help the absorption. And in and of itself, it's not a very healthy compound. It's been linked to being a carcinogen. So I really love this system because the studies have been used most generally on two CuraPro per day, the CuraPro 750. So it's not like you have to take buckets and buckets. I mean, you're getting benefits with a lower dose every single day. Now, curcumin is a family name.
Okay.
Curcumin has 3 members in its family named curcumin, which is confusing because that's the family name as well. But curcumin, demethoxycurcumin, and bisdemethoxycurcumin. By far, the biggest family member is the curcumin. So the reason that those are often listed out is to make sure that you're getting the full spectrum of curcuminoids. So for example, one of the curcuminoids, bisdemethoxycurcumin, is very small and it absorbs a little bit more easily than curcumin. And there have been companies that have experimented with trying to sell just that one curcuminoid and claiming enhanced absorption, but none of the studies that are done on full spectrum curcumin apply because it's not full spectrum. So who knew there was so much science behind this, right? It's confusing.
Yeah.
I empathize with our listeners because I do this every day and I get confused. But so it's important to know that whatever curcumin you're using, number one, that it has a safe system for boosting absorption. Number two, that it's been used in published human clinical trials, so you know it's safe and you know how it works. And also that it doesn't contain these synthetic solvents, that it uses natural compounds to boost absorption.
Folks, for all the listeners, if you can find somebody that knows more about curcumin and turmeric and all these interactions, I'd love to meet them. So we've
I've been doing
been
this for a little while,
yeah,
and I've been taking this product for a long, long time. And all kidding aside, I think that I started to take this product when it was first launched. I think it was about 13, 14 years ago. I think I probably added 10 years onto my lifespan
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
because curcumin does so many things at such a basic level in the body. It's an anti-inflammatory. Well, when you look at chronic illnesses and when you look at the aging process itself, one of the hallmarks is chronic
right.
inflammation. Curcumin's a super potent antioxidant, super, super potent. So when we look at chronic diseases and the aging process itself, what do we see? Accelerated oxidative
Yeah.
stress. Also, when it comes to the liver, curcumin is one of the most liver healthy compounds out there. It helps the liver do a better job of detoxing. And when we look once again at chronic diseases and the aging process itself, what do we often see? Liver slowdown and impaired detoxification. So I think that I think, should be a part of everybody's daily regimen, whether you're using it for a specific issue, which would be a little bit higher dose, or whether you're just using it for a lower dose, like maybe 375 milligrams once a day, just to stay healthy and just to have a really wonderful, I call them lifespan supplements, a healthy lifespan supplement on board.
Right. It's not like there's a study that only says, "Oh, it adds 10 years to your life." But if you see it's reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease,
Yes.
that's 5 years probably, and then
Yeah.
cancer, there's another 3 years, and then boom, blood pressure, liver, just years and years are added all together is the best way to look at that, because we've clearly established there's over 60, 85 plus studies on what we're discussing here today with
Right.
Cheryl Myers, Chief of Scientific Affairs and Education at EuroPharma Inc. And again, topic of discussion today is the BCM 95 Curcugreen, the special form of CuraMed that's in these formulas, that's in Curamed and CuraMin here through Terry Naturally. And there's an option available for everybody. There's syrups, there's a chewable option, there's a 750 milligram capsule, and then there's even a smaller dose. So where can one start? Maybe we can start with the syrup. I've never
Mhm.
seen curcumin really in a syrup form. So is this going to be more for like throat issues, respiratory issues, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. It's more for people who cannot swallow.
Got it.
Children, but up to 30% of adults have either a physiological or psychological reason why they have trouble swallowing. So we had a lot of demand to help people with swallowing. It's also useful for people that are fed via feeding tubes. Often asked for advice on, can you use this with tube feedings? And absolutely, yes, you can. You can mix it in with the tube feeding itself. It might, because it's such a vivid pigment, some of the tube might turn a little bit orange, but
Hmm.
it's certainly worth it to help people who maybe don't eat their food via mouth anymore because of
Right.
some problem. So that's one of the reasons why we came out with the syrup. The chewable is also excellent. It's a little bit of an earthy flavor. It doesn't contain sugar. That's a nice option for kids. I do like the chewable because it stays in your mouth for a while, and curcumin is so incredibly healthy for your gums. And how many people could use a little help with gum health?
Yeah.
So I like it because you chew it up and it bathes your gum in curcumin, but then when you swallow it, you get all the systemic benefits as well. The
Again,
lower
that,
dose
yeah.
I the lower dose I generally recommend for people who are otherwise healthy, who just want to
Okay.
get some of this amazing herbal compound on board to help, you know, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The 750, the higher dose, is more for people that are using it to address a specific health concern.
Okay, got it. More deeper issues, maybe a even
Mm-hmm.
doctor prescribed after looking at your case and some blood
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
I think everyone should have their CRP checked in the blood, the HSCRP and the
Mm-hmm.
normal CRP for a
Right.
good idea of where your inflammation is at. And then maybe a CuraMed 750 might be your best option. Tell us about the CuraMed brain. It's not really mentioned a lot. The brain benefits of curcumin and turmeric. It is, but not as often as pain and inflammation and things like arthritis. Let's hear your thoughts on the CuraMed brain formula.
Well, some of the things I talked about that contribute to chronic illness, which is chronic inflammation, chronic oxidative stress, and reduced detoxification or reduced liver activity, are all 100% causative when it comes to a lot of different brain diseases.
Hmm.
So, if when we look at Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease, we're going to see high levels of chronic inflammation in the brain, high levels of oxidative stress, and we're going to see an increased exposure to toxins. So using CuraMed, there have been studies that have been done specifically on our curcumin, some animal studies on Alzheimer's disease, human studies on mood. When we look at people who are struggling with depression, they too have the holy three: higher levels of inflammation in the brain, higher levels of oxidative stress, and often, not always, but often reduced detoxification capacity as well. Our curcumin was examined for crossing the blood-brain barrier, and this BCM95 that we use in our CuraMed brain and our CuraMed and our Curamin
Yeah.
cross the blood-brain barrier about 14 times better than plain curcumin. So it's incredibly useful for people that have any type of concern when it comes to their brain health.
Incredible. Again, CuraMed brain. Look for the big letters brain right on the formula there. It says supports clear thinking, focus, mental agility.
Mm-hmm.
What does that agility of mental agility mean? That's the first
Well,
time I've heard probably those two together.
mental agility is the ability to respond quickly, to jump to different topics without losing track of where you are. It's
Mm,
just like physical agility, only with your
got it.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah, being sharp, being able to
Sure.
react
Yes.
quickly,
Yep.
good reaction time. There's
Hmm.
even vitamin D3, rosemary, and sage added in there. Spanish sage specifically. Can you tell us a little bit about that specific form of sage?
Absolutely. Well, both Spanish sage and rosemary are especially effective at keeping a neurotransmitter active in the brain called acetylcholine. When we look at different brain diseases, including Alzheimer's, we generally see very reduced levels of acetylcholine. But by using both of these help to keep acetylcholine active in the brain longer because they interfere with the enzyme that takes them out of circulation. So you can build up better, healthier levels of acetylcholine. So they're pretty specific for that. The vitamin D, there's some early research on neurological applications of combining vitamin D with curcumin and found that they have a very synergistic effect in people that are struggling. So that's why we put together this formula. So the heavy lifter, of course, is that CuraMed curcumin, but we do have the other ingredients that also are trying to push in the right direction.
Interesting. We had some people, and it comes up a lot as a question here in the store, if it's safe to take CuraMed and Curamin together.
Absolutely. You know, we didn't
And
talk a lot
why would
about
it? Yeah.
we didn't talk a lot about Curamin, but Curamin's our pain product. And I can't imagine anybody listening to this today who hasn't at one time or another, or even currently, experiences pain.
Yeah.
And the pain relievers out there are dreadful. When you look at your ibuprofens and your acetaminophen and your naproxen sodiums and all of these different compounds out there, they're just not very good for you. They cause a lot of damage, and it's just amazing to me that you can get as good as or better relief using a natural formula, and that's our Curamin. Now, some people take CuraMed because they're using it because maybe they're taking it because of oh, I don't know, let's say depression. They read the study on depression and they're taking the same dose that was used in the study, which was CuraMed 750, one capsule twice daily. But they also have a little snap, crackle, pop going on in their knees, or they pulled their shoulder when they were raking the other day. Can you use the pain? Yes, absolutely. You can use those together. You're not going to get too much
Got it.
on board.
Thanks for answering that. We see a lot of rheumatoid arthritis here at the medical center, Cheryl, specifically RA, not as much OA. And
Mhm,
there was a study, it looks like, published here in 2012, March, going
mhm.
on 11 years, by Chandran and team here in Phytotherapy Research Journal. Tell us your thoughts a little bit about rheumatoid arthritis and the BCM 95.
Well, rheumatoid arthritis is a complex disease, and it's a disease in which the body makes a mistake and starts to attack healthy tissue, and that healthy tissue tends to be in the joints. So it's a
Hmm.
systemic disease, and it's classified as autoimmune. So it's not the same as other kinds of arthritis, especially wear and tear arthritis. So it has to be addressed a little bit differently. Is there pain and inflammation? Absolutely. But there's also aspects of immune system that needs to be addressed as well. And I'm sure you folks are quite knowledgeable about this. There's dietary changes. There are probiotics. There are just a lot of different lifestyle changes that can create great benefits for people with RA. But yes, indeed, our product was studied. Our CuraMed 750 was it's studied twice daily compared to a nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drug that's prescription strength called diclofenac sodium. It's often sold under the prescription name Voltaren, and it worked as well as the prescription strength Voltaren, but without the adverse effects. In fact, 14% of the people in the drug group had to drop out of the study because of the severity of their stomach effects,
Hmm.
heartburn, ulcerations, stomach pain. But 0% of people had to drop out of our CuraMed 750 group because of adverse effects. So I think that that's a wonderful product for people to discuss with their healthcare practitioners about incorporating into their regimen.
Again, over 70 groundbreaking published studies, folks. Look for the CuraMed, MED is what we're referring to here with the RA specific. Obviously, work with your doctor if likely you're on a prescription medication if you've already been diagnosed with RA. But this might be a good supplement to add into your lifestyle. Look for the little 750 milligrams in the top left corner of the bottle, or come talk to Stan, the demo man, or any of our staff here at Healthy Habit Health Foods. Last 2-3 minutes here with Cheryl Myers, Chief of Scientific Affairs and Education at EuroPharma. Again, this CuraMed, Cheryl, comes in a 30, 60, and 120 soft gel option, right?
It surely does. Guess which one's our best selling?
Probably, let's go 120. Is
You
it?
are
Is
absolutely
it?
right, because once people try it, they want the price advantage of, they're going to continue to take it
Right.
probably for the rest of their lives, or at least for a very long time. And you do get a little bit of a price break when you buy it in the largest size. So that has rapidly become our fastest selling product, is our CuraMed 750 in the 120 count. But regardless of what size you buy, the president of our company and founder, Terry Lemeron, believes very strongly in people getting their money's worth, believes very strongly in the promise we make of our products helping people sometimes with some pretty serious issues. If you take an entire bottle of our CuraMed and you don't see any improvement or any help whatsoever, you can return that for a full refund. We have a full 100% money back guarantee. I don't want you to return it after 2 capsules and say it didn't
Yeah.
work. Take the whole bottle, take 2 bottles, whatever it takes, give it a trial, take the dosage that is necessary. And then if it doesn't do anything for you, absolutely contact us. We'll give you your money back.
Again, folks, the research is there, and they conclude with it was significantly beneficial, right? Not just due to chance, right? So
Absolutely.
that means something. And in that particular study, it was 2 of the soft gels of the Curamed 750, which gives us 1.5 grams total a day. But that's just in that specific situation. You might only need 1 a day, right? So really, really interesting stuff. Curamed 750, and maybe in the next part 2, next time we talk in our monthly check-in, we'll focus solely on Curamin.
Okay.
But I want to give a quick recap then, and we'll close her up here in about a minute and a half. This is a unique product because it's not only that standardized curcumin, but there's also the turmeric oil mixed with it, right? And you highlighted this earlier, but I want really people to walk away knowing that, because we get customers asking, hey, do you have turmeric products? Do you have curcumin products? Right? So give us that quick summary of that, and then we'll wrap it up.
I think it's the closest thing to nature while still retaining the benefits of science, because you get compounds not found in any other curcumin product because they don't have the turmeric essential oil.
Yeah.
And so it's as close as you can get to nature, but still have the enhanced absorption and be able to do it with reasonable dosages. The two do work brilliantly together. And as I said, it's a patented process where every single flake of curcumin has a little bit of turmeric essential oil embedded in it. So you're always going to get the right ratio. You're always going to get the amount that's beneficial to you.
Amazing. This episode is going to be titled CuraMed, the Superior Choice with Cheryl Myers. Curcumin's the powerful active component from turmeric. However, turmeric extracts contain very little curcumin, about 2 to 5% only. Plain curcumin extracts are poorly absorbed as well. It's another issue. So you still don't get the benefits of curcumin, the full research-backed benefits. So that's why CuraMed is different. And Cheryl and I, we hope this episode helped you understand that difference. Thank you, Cheryl, for your time as always.
Thank you so much. It's always a delight to visit. I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Likewise.